Welcome to Wow of the World, and in this episode you're joining me in Southeast Asia. These are the busy streets of Cambodia. We started the trip through Southeast Asia in Thailand this time. From Chiang Mai we traveled the countryside to Chiang Rai. From there we crossed the border into Laos and sailed the mighty Mekong River. It was the adventure of a lifetime. But we had more to explore as we crossed the border from Laos to Cambodia. It was so special to show my kids and mom the ancient Khmer kingdom in Angkor Wat. At last we visited Siem Reap's amazing little water park. We do like Siem Reap a lot, so we decided to stay a couple of extra days, but unfortunately the hotel is fully booked. So we go to another hotel and then it's time to do some relaxation time. This first hotel is called the Golden Banana Resort, a true oasis in the middle of the busy old town. As Susan and Jens take our luggage on the tuk-tuk, me and Mom take Celine for a stroll through town to another great hotel. So here we are in hotel number 2 of Siem Reap. This is called the Rabbit Hole, and on the way over here I already couldn't help myself again. At some of the stands I bought this new jersey because 23 is my lucky number, so I had no choice. But this is the room, guys. Where the Lost Hotel was an old colonial building, this is a modern place. From here we'll be exploring Siem Reap after a refreshing dive in the pool. Right in the center near the river we find Wat Preaprom Rat, which is the most beautiful gold temple complex where it's so peaceful that it's the perfect place to get away from the hustle and bustle of busy Siem Reap while it's right in the middle of the city center. So I'm gonna make a quiet little morning stroll here through the temples. Okay, it's peaceful for me, but certainly not for this guy. His intestines are being eaten by vultures. Okay, sure. This complex is a functional monastery where the monks study Buddhism on a daily basis. It was built in the 15th century and the artwork on the walls is stunning. What's very interesting that I want to show you at the main temple is that around the temple there are a lot of paintings that are telling a story. So I do not understand everything because it's written in Cambodia there underneath, but I do get the gist of it, and it's a story about the life of Buddha, and the one painting is even more pretty than the other. Incredible. Well guys, I can really recommend going over to this temple complex in the early morning, because I was here 8 o'clock, it's now 9 and there's still nobody here except for me. I got my own VIP private tour in this temple, and the only people that I meet are the friendly monks who I say good morning to. Such an incredible experience.
Time to head into town, where the markets are the main attraction. You can find all sorts of handcrafted souvenirs and delicacies over here, and it's all relatively cheap. Siem Reap is also the place in Cambodia with a lively pub and food scene. The most famous restaurant in town is Viva, which oddly enough has Mexican food. I first came here in 2012 and the food is still delicious. And they also have happy hours. We have a great breakfast at the Rabbit Hole, and then it's time for another highlight in Cambodia. For that we booked a private taxi this time. Through the typical red sandy roads of Cambodia, we drive through the countryside to embark on a famous boat ride.
Around Siem Reap there's a lot of interesting nature to be found, especially swamp areas, some big lakes and mangrove forests all around the river landscape. Today it's time to make a boat ride and discover those areas, the unique landscape and especially the traditional way that people live here. Let's go!
Hold on to your seats because this place will blow your mind. To escape the overcrowded cities, some Cambodians and Vietnamese built their houses in swamp areas and literally on the rivers and lakes.
I'm still in the ashes when you get dressed and leave.
A lot of families also moved here to escape the Khmer Rouge during the Cambodian genocide under the reign of Pol Pot.
Before it starts to feel.
They often have no ID proof and live outside of society in their own water world. We enter this world to see how they live now.
I will burn you down. Oh, it's a long hard fall from the top of the world, but it's finally over. Finally over.
Through a crazy water world, and we saw already so much on the way, we arrive at this lake. It's called Tonle Sap and it's the biggest freshwater lake in all of Asia. There are hundreds of floating villages where people actually live, but the number changes due to the tide. When it's dry season there are less, and there are even more in the wet season. So it's now dry season and we stopped at one called Kampong Pluk. This is such a different way of life here in Cambodia.
Still you can hear me scream, 'cause still I am a lion, and I will.
Around Tonle Sap, most of the people work as fishermen, and the lake is home to over 300 types of fish.
I will tear you down, pin you to the ground. I will tear you down. Oh, it's a long hard fall from the top of the world, but it's finally over. Finally over. I gotta last 1 minute just to get out alive, so I keep it together, thinking it's not forever. It's not forever. It's not forever.
Even for me, this is a pretty bizarre place. I've been all around the world, but never did I stand on top of a floating island in the Tonle Sap lake on Kampong Pluk. And what can you do over here? There's a bunch of ladies over there in the mangrove forest doing fishing, and you can make a boat ride over there. And apparently there's a big crocodile business because they have a crocodile farm where the poor little animals are captured in cages and probably will be sold for handbags pretty soon. So that's how the people live here in this bizarre place, guys. But the lake is pretty amazing.
Fall from the top of the world, but it's finally over. Finally over. I gotta last 1 minute just to get out alive, so I'll keep it together, thinking it's not forever. Oh, it's not forever. It's not forever.
We see many more floating islands and also traps that are made to catch crocodiles. I can recommend the boat ride to Tonle Sap because it's very real and authentic. For now, it's time to say goodbye to Siem Reap. For me, still one of the friendliest and coziest towns in Asia. We visit the night market as we head over to our favorite restaurant for one last time. So tell me, where in the world can you find a better steak for just $7?
Mojito! We're having breakfast, and after breakfast we're going to the airport of Siem Reap. So we're not leaving Cambodia yet, but we're flying to Phnom Penh because there's a lot more to discover in Cambodia.
In just over 40 minutes we have a super smooth flight to the capital of Cambodia. And we say goodbye to Grandma, who was with us for a month.
We're here, this is Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, after one of the shortest flights in my life because it was only half an hour by plane from Siem Reap to get to Phnom Penh. And over here we have this private apartment on the 11th floor. It's called Real Hope Condo, right in the city center, and we have 2 days here before we go on to the coast. So I'll show you some of the city, and I can already tell you I have this beautiful view here from the balcony of the skyline. Check it out.
While the Phnom Penh that I knew around 15 years ago had no skyscrapers at all, the city could now easily be called the Manhattan of Cambodia.
So what did I tell you about the view? This is certainly one of the best views that you can get in this city. Look at all the skyscrapers, wow! It's also a bit scary. It's early in the morning. I grabbed a tuk-tuk as quickly as I could because today I want to see Phnom Penh. So we're heading to the city center.
On our left-hand side we see the Independence Monument from 1958.
Phnom Penh is not only the capital of Cambodia, but also by far the biggest city, with 2.5 million people. And it's not like this city didn't have its obstacles on the way to get there, because it became the capital during the French oppression, and after that there's a lot of sad history which I will tell you later. Right now you can see the skyscraper shooting from the ground like mushrooms because it's developing all the time. Let's see Phnom Penh. The biggest site by far in Phnom Penh is of course the Royal Palace. It was built in 1866 and the king still happens to live here nowadays. It does remind me a bit of the Royal Palace in Bangkok because it's equally beautiful. Sit! Sit! Good boy, good boy.
The Royal Palace is a must-visit in Phnom Penh, as it was built around the 1860s and teaches a lot of the rich history and Khmer traditions. I start my visit at the throne hall, and in 1 to 2 hours you can see the entire palace. Be sure to visit in the morning from 8 to 11 or in the afternoon from 2 to 4, or you'll find closed gates. However, even during opening hours, the palace is super quiet anyway.
One of the true highlights that you can find at the Royal Palace is near the Silver Pagoda. There's this wall painting that goes on for dozens of meters all around the pagoda. And it's super detailed, so you can see like ancient times flowing by on the wall over here. It's really nice. You know what really surprises me the most is that I'm walking around here in this remote part of the palace and there is nobody here, so it's not as crowded as in Bangkok at all. One more highlight, if you forgot to go to Angkor Wat, there's a little miniature Angkor Wat right here in the palace. And this one is fully restored.
Just before the exit is a display of royal chairs, and in the Moonlight Pavilion I stumble upon a traditional music performance.
Maybe I never knew what I really wanted, but looking back I can see it's all clear. I'm still a kid trying to act like they all taught me, but nothing makes sense anymore.
When you visit Cambodia, and especially Phnom Penh, I think it's important that you learn a little bit about the history, because quite recently, in the late 70s, you had the dictatorship of Pol Pot and the Red Khmer, and it was one of the biggest genocides in human history. You had the killing fields, where people were killed systematically. You had the prisons where people were tortured. It was the most horrific time in Cambodia, and I think it's important to go to those places. I've been there in 2016, but even back then I thought it was not appropriate to go and film those places. So this time, with the kids, we will not be going there as well, because it's horrifying and it still gives me nightmares. But you should go once in a lifetime if you have the chance, because you will learn a lot.
You'll also find that after such a dark time, the recovery of Cambodia is amazing, and it shows the people's strength and resilience.
Maybe I could have seen it all coming, that I wouldn't grow wiser for each day. Am I the only one lost in translation, where nothing makes sense anymore?
Even though it's a bit windy, it's interesting to make a little walk along the river, because this is the place where the Mekong that we saw in Laos and the Tonle Sap that we saw in Siem Reap unite as one river, and it's also a nice place to see local life.
'Cause nothing makes sense anymore.
On my way through town, I visited the National Museum of Cambodia, but I also wanted to show you another typical phenomenon that is hard to ignore.
So I saw this a million times already, and you probably saw it too, in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Laos. This is the electricity system. I wouldn't call it a system, it's just super chaotic. So I wonder, if I call my electrician and I say, hey, the Wi-Fi is not working or the electricity is out, does he just climb up here and says, bloop, 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 and it's fixed?
Back at the hotel, Suze and the kids are anxiously waiting. Who's up for a swim?
So I took the tuk-tuk back through the busy streets to our beautiful skyscraper hotel. And over there, I almost forgot to tell you that we have the key feature of the hotel on the roof, because this is the rooftop pool with the most incredible view in Cambodia. I'm gonna take a dive.
This place is just surreal, as we stand in the middle of Cambodia's Manhattan next to our private little pool for the day.
tomorrow it's time to travel on in Cambodia. We're going to the coast. But it's hard to say goodbye to these sunsets. I really love Phnom Penh.
But the next time we'll visit Cambodia's best nature. Subscribe to join us in tropical Koh Rong and many more destinations all around the world. Ciao!